Eminem is totally backed by the establishment, gets all the mainstream interviews on late night TV, gets promoted in all the radio stations and everything with his new album, promoted on social media, pushed when he has a new album. He's the big famous guy, totally backed by the establishment. Bryson Gray, backed by organic grassroots support via his own hustle, and he beats Eminem on the album charts. That is the perfect example of how the entire landscape of mainstream entertainment and media is a fraud. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to do a news blitz here and get through all of this news before we get into the third hour, where I will open up the phone lines for you to call in. Anything we've discussed today is fair game. But let me do this news blitz right now before we do open those phone lines. Headline from the AP today: Democrats warm up for big debate. Now, the last debate, outside of the first couple debates that were popular because you had Tulsi Gabbard on the stage and Andrew Yang and Marianne Williamson, they added a little life to the events that were pretty much just dead otherwise, with a bunch of dead candidates who aren't going anywhere. So they made sure that they wouldn't be on another debate stage. Tulsi Gabbard is still running, though. Yang dropped out. Williamson dropped out, obviously. But what is this, the 10th, 11th debate the Democrats have had, and they're just waning at this point. And we're really just waiting to see, is Bloomberg going to buy this election? Are the Democrats going to give it to Bloomberg, or will they go with the grassroots commie Bernie? And I think either one would be fair, quite frankly. The way that's set up, the Democrats can rig their own nomination process, and it's perfectly legal by their rules. They already did it to Bernie once. He didn't raise a fuss. So my guess is they'll do it again, given that track record. But yeah, I mean, if you're the Democrats, I think it's a fair thing to say, well, you know what? You're an independent. You're not a Democrat, Bernie, and you're a damn dirty commie. And we don't think America's ready for a dirty commie yet. So we're not going to go that route. But we like Bloomberg's billions of dollars. And I'll say, though, either way, I think that a Bloomberg versus Trump presidential debates would be good. And it would actually probably be the most informative and just real world talk that we've seen, because Bloomberg and Trump obviously know each other so well, both billionaires from New York. So there's that kind of camaraderie, if you will, aspect that I think will be a powerful display to have two men accomplished, whether you like them or not, up there really getting into the weeds in some of these issues. And then with Bernie, I mean, yeah, you have basically a communist pig versus what they would call a capitalist pig in Trump. Well, fine, whatever. Capitalism, free market versus communism, slave market. I think we know how that goes, but maybe America needs to see this. And, I have young people that are in college that I've just known forever that get indoctrinated by their liberal professors. These are friends of mine, and they're stunned because they send me all these questions about, what they hear from their professors, and they're like, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about that? Blah, blah, blah. And I always respond to it, and I always have a logical response that changes their mind. You see, it's really easy to make people understand why they don't want communism once you get them to think for themselves, once you get them to think logically. That's not what they want you to do in college. They want you to go into debt and become a debt slave and then be angry at the system for your college debt and then your lack of education. And so then you bring on communism. You see how that works? And of course, we find out how these major institutions are infiltrated by China. And we find out how these major infiltrators are infiltrated by major sex traffickers like Jeffrey Epstein. And so that's how that goes. But the big Democrat debate tonight should be small. But the talk of the town is that they're all going to go after Sanders. They're all going to gang up on Bernie Sanders because they don't want him in there. He's a dirty commie, and they don't think he can beat Trump. And so we'll see if the totality of the Democrat debate stage tonight lines up against Sanders, much like they did against Bloomberg in the last debate. So we shall see how that goes. But it's an odd headline in the Associated Press. Are they saying that black people are homophobic? Because the headline says in South Carolina, Buttigieg faces black voters wary of a gay candidate. Do you understand how bigoted the left actually is? And like, here's the funny thing. Conservatives will say something about identity politics that sounds shocking or politically incorrect to a liberal progressive, but that's because we don't care. We don't care about your skin color. Like, we just say the truth. We say what's on our mind. We're not worried about black or blue or red or white or yellow or we don't care. We care about truth. We care about justice. We care about reality. We care about logic. We care about common sense. These people are all about identity politics. They're the biggest bigots out there. But again, you can read the story. Are black people afraid of a gay man? Conservatives? Christians? Well, yeah. But again, why do they have to make it about black people? Remember the lady who was white in the, I think it was the Iowa caucus, who voted for Buttigieg, found out he was gay, and wanted to retract her vote. And of course, the ultimate irony here, is America ready for a gay president? Well, we already had Barack Obama with his little fake wife, Michael. But that's a whole nother story. But hey, I may get brought up tonight. Mayor Pete, what would you say to black people and Christians who don't want a gay president? Well, I'd say that, please don't be bigoted. And I'm going to kiss my husband on the stage right now just to show you that it's okay. Meanwhile, the Obamas and the Clintons still not weighing in. Have you noticed that? Still kind of just hanging out there. Nobody knows where they're going to go. Are they going to endorse somebody? Maybe someone throws their hat in the ring? But what happens tonight at the Democrat debate? Does anybody watch? Are people sick of this by now? I know I am. Look, just give it to Bloomberg or let the commie Bernie get it. And can we just be done with this already? I mean, my goodness. Think about all the money wasted. I bring this up every election cycle. Billions of dollars have been wasted on political campaigns every year. And so only one person can get the nomination. All the others are going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars campaigning for nothing. It's already happening. Happens every year. Now, look, that's the free market. That's capitalism that creates jobs and this and that and the other thing. I'm not complaining. What I'm complaining about is the hypocrisy of these socialists in politics and these socialists in Hollywood. Throw money at this, free that. But yet, they're the ones that fly around the world on jets. They're the ones that waste billions of dollars on failed campaigns that they know they can't win. So it's just total hypocrisy from these people. But, the good news is America is waking up to it, honestly. But because the liberal progressive left tries to control reality with controlling what gets seen on TV, controlling what goes out on the internet with social media. And here's a perfect example. Here's a perfect example of the control and the facade of mainstream media, entertainment, and news. Look at Bryson Gray. Bryson Gray has come from where? Did he get endorsed by Hollywood? Does he have a big record label? Does he get played on the radio? Does he have major rappers and entertainers backing him, telling you how great he is? No, he had himself. He had an idea, he had a recording studio, and he made an album that was top of the charts for a moment, and I think finished at 5 in the rap album, I think 20 overall on iTunes. Great album. I listened to it, loved it. And then you have Eminem. Now, say what you want about the music, Eminem is totally backed by the establishment, gets all the mainstream interviews on late night TV, gets promoted in all the radio stations and everything with his new album, promoted on social media, pushed when he has a new album. He's the big famous guy, totally backed by the establishment. Bryson Gray, backed by organic grassroots support via his own hustle, and he beats Eminem on the album charts. That is the perfect example of how the entire landscape of mainstream entertainment and media is a fraud, folks. It's all corrupt. It's all rigged. It's all fake. It's all controlled. You only get to be a part of the system if you go with the system, even though it's not popular, and we've totally rebuked it.